Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome back to Evolving with Kylie, where we grow in self-awareness, reclaim our power, and live more intentionally. Today's topic is how to start healing from emotional neglect. 4 steps that changed my life. Many of us grew up being the parents and having our emotional needs not met, and giving all of our attention as children to our caregivers in order to feel safe and less rejected. And so I'm gonna get into 4 steps, like I said, that you can begin to start taking in order to start peeling back the layers, becoming more self-aware of your own emotional patterns that aren't serving you anymore, and so that you can start to step into your own power. Okay? Step number one, start looking after your needs first. Especially coming from being a people pleaser, you're always looking out for other people's needs first. And so you might not even be consciously aware of your own feelings, your nervous system, your bodily sensation, anything that has to do with your physiology or your emotions. You probably are not attuned to that. So this is something for myself that I started to acknowledge more of when I started to look after my needs first. And what that was, first and foremost, was becoming aware of my feelings and my thoughts. And for years, I've always had a journal that I wrote in about how I felt about things. But the only thing that I realized that I didn't do on top of writing about my feelings was saying no to draining situations or people that I knew were draining me. Because I still had this belief that others came before myself and that others' feelings were more important than mine. Okay? So healing starts by reconnecting with your own needs and honoring your feelings, and also starting to set those boundaries vocally with other people. An exercise that you can also start doing is, after a situation where you are around a specific individual or a group of people or just a situation, okay? After exiting that energetic situation and going home, start to acknowledge what you're feeling in your body, the sensation, the feelings, your energy. Do you feel uplifted? Do you feel groggy? Do you feel meh? Start to tune in to your inner world and notice how you are feeling. Instead of distracting yourself, going on your phone, or, I understand that we have daily tasks that we need to do, but to make sure that you set aside some time, especially after situations where you're around other people, to tune in to see how you're feeling, and if that person is draining you, or you may even recognize that you didn't say no, you didn't set a boundary in a situation, and so that person naturally just took whatever you gave to them. Another technique that I've started to use is when somebody asks me if I would like to do something or if I can help them with something. In the moment, if I feel unsure, I will say, I'm going to get back to you on that. Because coming from a people-pleasing background, we tend to, in the moment, feel that other person's, or at least we feel pressure to say yes to every request that is asked upon us. So instead, saying, I'll get back to you, that way I can go and sit in my own energy and really feel inside, is this something that I have energy for? Okay, so learning to tune in with yourself separately instead of making impulsive decisions in the moment based on feeling pressured by other people. Okay? So these small things that you can start doing intentionally and remembering to do, and the more you do them, you'll notice that you'll feel more empowered. Like your decision matters, and it's not just the other person's feelings that are important here, but your feelings are first above all. And number 2, spend time alone and spend time in a community where you feel aligned energetically. So, number 1, spending time alone allows you to learn how to process your emotions, to gain emotional regulation, to be able to understand what's going on in your inner world away from all of the energies of everyone else. Coming from a people pleaser background, I acknowledge that I used to focus a lot on other people's lives, even when I was alone by myself trying to process my day. I started to notice that my thoughts would be thinking about the other people's feelings or their reactions or whatever, even made up pressures that I was assuming within my mind about what the other people expected from me. Okay, and so that can be something that could possibly happen when you start to sit by yourself. You're not actually thinking about your own feelings, you're thinking about other people. So be mindful of that. And in the moment when you catch that happening, redirect your thoughts and yourself, redirect your focus back to yourself and how you're feeling inside of your body. Okay? And spend time in an aligned community. For myself, in my past, I used to spend a lot of time around people that weren't necessarily aligned with my true heart intentions, things that I really wanted in life, because I wasn't really focused on that. And for some reason, I hung out with people that weren't aligned with me. And so finding a community, like now I have dance classes and a yoga studio that I go to, just as an example. And these are communities, and even like my friend group. And these are communities where I feel aligned, accepted, and I feel myself. And being around people, right, can nurture more of your inner healing by creating that connection with other people that are aligned with your soul's true desires and what it is that you want out of your life. So having a little bit of both worlds, spending time alone, know yourself, understand yourself, and then when you're ready, also going out into community and connecting that self that you're getting to know with others alike to create that connection and love and fulfillment in your life. Number 3, understand, observe, and then regulate your nervous system. For many years, I thought that I had anxiety, and to be honest, I did, I guess, right? But what that really meant was, for me, that my nervous system was dysregulated. You know, since I was younger, I was just programmed or turned into this person that was always scanning for safety in my environment. And because my feelings and my emotions weren't reflected back to me, helping others made me feel safer and less rejected. So that became my norm. And so my nervous system was always looking for safety on the outside. Oh, who can I help? Who can I help to feel better about myself or to feel safe? Okay. So things that I started to notice in my body were these things like, oh, I had like anxiety, shortness of breath. Like I could never, like there were some times where I felt like, you know, I could get a full grasp of air, but for the majority of the time, I always felt like I wasn't getting enough air. I'd also get like I also get tension in my body. Like I'll get knots in my upper back. And these were all signs of me neglecting my own emotional needs and putting other people before myself. So starting to become aware of things that are happening physiologically in your body, not just your nervous system, but like your muscles, your like everything in your body, from like your head to your toes. What do you notice? And when you start to become more aware of these things, other like bits of information or people start talking about things, or you'll run into a book that literally gives you the knowledge based on what you're acknowledging in your body. This is what happened to me with my nervous system, like my anxiety. I started to really question what was going on, and then things started coming up in my reality about nervous system regulation or dysregulation, and I started reading into it, and I was like, oh my god, this is what's wrong with me. So the key in all of this is to just start to observe and be curious as to what's going on inside of your body and your being and your mind, in your energy, all of that. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about a few things that have, and I've mentioned in my other videos, that have helped me regulate my nervous system and become more, have more feelings of safety in my body. Number one for a while has been yoga, and lately I've been practicing yoga more regularly. Okay, walking, jogging, you don't have to do all of these things. Okay, something light and movement and calming to the body and to the mind. And also something that I've learned recently is that you could do yoga, you could jog, you could, work out, do all these things, but if your intention is not focused on, I want to stretch, I want to relax, or, I want to feel better. And if your mind is elsewhere, then what you're doing is not going to make that much of a difference, because the right intention and focus is not within your mind. So you really need to be focusing on healing and calming your nervous system and putting that intention out there as you are doing these activities. Something I've also started recently, the past month or two, has been breath work, slow diaphragmatic breathing. Okay, I watch this guy on YouTube. It's called Breathwork with Sandy. He's great. He explains to you how to do the breathing exercises before you do it, and then when he starts, he does the whole breathing exercise with you throughout the whole video. Okay, the breath work has really made a huge difference in my anxiety or shortness of breath. Okay, so try that out in the morning time. Really helps kind of set the tone of your day, like a 15-minute video. And then even before bed at night, for years I had, even still now, it's not perfect, like anxiety before going to bed. So doing this breath work helps to calm down your nervous system and flexes that muscle. So like the more you do something, the more you become that which you're doing. Okay, so the more calmer that I become, and natural for me to not feel anxiety anymore. Sunlight and nature has always been a thing for me, has been my saving grace, even growing up when I was younger. We had a trailer that we went up to. I used to go swimming and hang out outside and ride our bikes. I was also in a hiking club in high school. I've gone for walks, no matter where I've lived in the city. I go camping. I just feel so connected and calm, almost like nature is my altar. Nature is my God. It really does create a lot of healing and calmness inside of my body and my whole being. Okay? And last but not least, number 4, shift from victimhood to empowerment. So what I mean by this is, yes, your pain has been valid, but staying in why did this happen to me keeps you stuck in low energy loops, especially when whatever happened to you, maybe it's your caregivers, You focus on what they did to you and feeling angry and feeling blameful and projecting that anger outwards onto other people. The way I look at it is what happened, happened. Nothing's going to change. Another thing that I've learned on my own journey with having parents that weren't able to provide me with the emotional support and guidance and love that I needed was that my parents too were not given that growing up. And they also never became consciously aware of this before they had kids or even when they had kids to address what they went through so that they wouldn't put their children through the same things. And who knows, maybe my mom gave me more than her mother gave her. I mean, that's what it sounds like based on what my mom used to tell me. Okay? So acknowledging that whatever has happened to you was not personal, not taking away your pain, because your pain is real and my pain was real as well, but to not blame it outwardly anymore and to own our feelings as ours. And when you can take what you went through and instead of saying, this happened to me, that's why my life is like this, and that's why I can't do this, and limiting yourself and allowing the negative experience to defeat you. So when you do that, that doesn't allow for more expansion and learning and growth. Instead, allow it to empower you. What did you learn about yourself, and what did you grow to or evolve into from this darker place of your past? For me, I have learned to be more compassionate towards others' dispositions and others' ways of being. Now, when I have certain people maybe treat me a certain way or project things onto me, I try very hard to be more aware now to not take those actions personally, but to remember that that person too has their own unconscious patterned behaviors that they are projecting onto me, and they don't know any better in this moment, right? So that's something that I've learned from my own challenges and struggles growing up, and that has made me a better person and more able to hold space for other people that are going through something hard and are not able to understand that their actions are projections. Not that I take abuse from people, because I'm learning to definitely set boundaries with other people. But even though I have set boundaries with people and maybe stepped away, I still have compassion and understanding for that person's situation and where they're at. Instead of holding on to anger and resentment and saying, that person did this to me, that person did that to me, and taking it personally and holding that anger in myself. Because technically the only person you are hurting and not healing is yourself when you hold on to anger towards other people. And when you realize this, you know, forgiving other people is like you giving a gift to yourself, right? The gift of forgiveness, the gift of letting go, to clear your energy field of all the blockages and all the pain and the sadness that you've held for so long, is a part of our healing journey as individuals that came from emotional neglect, is to be the person, the person that we needed growing up, and to not neglect other people's emotional needs, okay? So studies also show that chronic fear-based thoughts weaken the immune system and increase your inflammation. So science is even backing this up, okay? Anyway, healing doesn't happen overnight, and it's a daily commitment to yourself. But I promise that your peace, your power, and your joy are waiting for you on the other side of that first brave step. Okay, so let's keep evolving together, and I hope to see you in my next video. And if you enjoyed this video, check out the video that I've posted above. You'll really like that one. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day, and remember to stay mindful.